Hey. Okay, so this is all new stuff to me. I am Teresa, and I decided what I want to do is kind of keep track of my events from this moment on. I have applied for housing in Hawaii because that is on my bucket list to live in Hawaii. I really want to just say I have an address in Hawaii. I loved it. I didn't want to leave. And so now I want to see what it's like to experience life over there. I pray it works. I pray all goes well. I'm a transplant from Jersey to Florida. And so I'm excited to see what happens in Hawaii. So I just want to kind of journal the transition from here to there. This is not going to be an everyday log, blog, or none of that. Just transitioning what happens between now and then as it happens. So I have right now letter that I am signing. This is paperwork. I just got my mail from them from Hawaii to start the process. So I just got it, and I'm about to. Today is the day after Christmas, by the way. And I'm about to do this. I'm about to complete this paperwork and get it back in the mailbox so they can get tomorrow morning, so they can go ahead and get this and get my process going. So I just want to kind of document it and look back and see how it goes. And so as I go on my journey, maybe it can encourage somebody else to say, hey, you know what? I can do this. I don't have to be stuck in the same place all my life. And even if this doesn't work, which I trust God that it will. When I moved from New Jersey to Florida, I didn't know one soul. Well, actually, I met one woman online before I left. And we became good friends. Cynthia, she actually passed away. Anyway, she passed away. And but her and I were really good friends. But she was the only somebody that I knew. But I knew that God had put that in my spirit that I was supposed to go to Fort Myers, Florida. I knew that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I didn't have the money to go. I was in a horrible marriage, and I was kind of scared. I didn't want to go by myself. I wasn't used to being alone for years. I'd been married and I have these children now. And I didn't want to go. I mean, I wanted to go, but I was afraid to go. I was so afraid to the fact, even though I knew I was supposed to leave this cheating man, I was still afraid to go. But God dealt with me the whole way. I heard him so audibly speaking to me through that process. And, his thing to me was the scripture. And it asks us, well, we are supposed to keep our eyes on him. He said he would keep us in perfect peace. Those whose eyes are stayed on him. If we focus on him, he's our center. He's going to take care of everything that we need. We don't have to worry about what's going to happen. I had no money. I had nothing. And God worked that thing out because that's where I was supposed to be. He had a plan for me. I didn't know that then. I didn't know that. I just knew, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you. And whose report will you believe? I heard that, and he told me he was going to be with me. He was the one that was keeping me and sustaining me. I didn't need to trust in no man and nobody else. Okay. I left. I left that marriage. I left that man. I got my kids. I said, okay, God, so what you want me to do? Because I don't have no money. How is this going to work? And when I tell you that, when I wanted to go, I was looking into every form of transportation, plane, train, bus, even car, anything. Everything was in the thousands of dollars. Even a bus was like 1,000 something, whatever. I didn't have it. Me and 4 children, I didn't have it. So it was amazing how God worked that out. When it was his timing for me to go, and he said, go now. What do you want me? What you mean? I don't have that kind of money. he worked it out. And I called the train station again. When I called the train station, they had some crazy special. I don't know, it was like the ticket's like $50, buy one, get one, or something crazy. It was crazy. But I remember when I think it was $200 or something like that. When I called them to get me and my children to go, I think it was something like $200 or $250 for everybody at this time. I was like, what? Then when I actually got down to the train station to pay my $250, the woman was like, oh, wait. And she did some calculating. So I was waiting for her to be like, okay, yeah, no, who did this? Because it's way more than $250. She said, oh, it's less. Oh, yeah, I owe you $50. What? I said, okay, guy, I see you. So I got my tickets for $200 for me and all of my children. I believe it was $200 for me and all of my children, whereas it was over $1,000 when I was ready to go. And we got on this train and we came to Florida knowing no one. During that process, I didn't have anywhere to stay. But when I spoke to Cynthia, who was my friend, she was telling me about a shelter, the ACT shelter that was in Florida. And typically, they don't hold beds. It's for abused women. And they don't hold beds or none of that. Now, mind you, I was never physically abused, never. But it was a lot of emotional and verbal abuse. I never considered that abuse until I talked to them there. And they was like, honey, that's just as bad as being punched in the face. That's abuse. So they, it was crazy because they always said they wouldn't hold beds, first come, first serve. And I kept calling them and kept letting them know that, okay, I'm coming to you, but we can't hold beds, whoever's first come, first serve. So I had called them the night before we were to leave, letting them know we're leaving the next day. She said, well, we have one room, but I'm telling you, if somebody else comes to get it, we can't hold it. So I called them that morning and told them I was on my way. The lady said, one lady I had been talking to, she said, let me tell you something. She said, they were holding a meeting. And they were actually in the process of giving that room to someone else that was coming in. And she happened to walk in, which we know now was not happenstance. That was the grace of God. That was God. And she said she happened to walk in the meeting. And she wasn't even supposed to be there. I don't even remember why she said she walked in. But she walked in and they were talking about that, about to give away the room. And she said, no, hold on. She said, this woman has been calling me from Jersey every other day, letting me know. She called me this morning, said that she's on her way with her children. Y'all not going to give that room away because she's coming. I know she's coming. And she's not here right now, but she is coming. And she gets here, where is she going to go? She said, no, we're not going to give away that room. We're going to hold that room for her and those kids until they get there. Tell me that wasn't God. That was nothing but God. And I was like, wow. And when I tell you when I tell you he worked everything out. When I got there was a job waiting. I called about, different jobs in the hospital because that's my background. And, of course, it's like, well, you just have to come in and fill out an application, whatever. But I let them know that I was coming. And I got there and I talked to the person in charge of the business office or whatever and in the hospital. And we talked about an hour for everything except the job. So we finally got around to talking about the job. She was like, oh, girl, you got it. It was a stack piled up of applications. And she's like, I just got to go through the applications. She said, you got it. Don't worry about it. But I have to go through some of these. Okay. Thinking, yeah, right. So that woman called me in a couple of days and she said, you got the position. It was in the emergency room department. It was amazing to me. So God had worked all of that out. Before we left the shelter, the day we were leaving, we didn't have a place to go. But our time was up at the shelter. We had no place to go. And I'm like, God, okay, what are we going to do? Where am I going to go? These people putting us out this shelter. Before we walked out of the door, a flyer came across the fax machine saying that there was a house that was for rent for anyone that needed it in the East Side area. Girl, well, guys, I don't know who might be watching this, but When I tell you the house was beautiful, and they said, here, take this, go down here. We gave us the referral and everything, and those people, we couldn't get in that day. It was approved. We couldn't get in that day because they needed, I think, a couple weeks or I think 2 or 3 weeks to get it together. But we ended up staying in a hotel that was not far from there. And and I'm telling you all of this. It sounds like a lot, but I'm telling you all of this because I want to encourage somebody. You can do it. You don't have to be stuck in the situation you're in if you don't want to be. You don't have to be stuck in a bad marriage. You don't have to be stuck in one place all your life because you were born there and you were raised there. You don't have to be stuck there all of your life. You can venture out. Trust God. He can do it. He can do it. He did it for me, and he's still doing it for me. So that's why I'm doing this, because I just want somebody to be encouraged. Put your mind on Christ. Let him do it. Let him take you to realms you didn't know you can reach. You can't do it in your own strength, but let God do it in you and through you. He is amazing. He's an amazing God. He's a good Father, and he will do it for you. So I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what Hawaii holds. I don't know. But I'm excited to go see, and I'm trusting that the same God that brought me from Jersey to Florida and has kept me here over, 24 years now or something like that? Since 99, and we're in 2023. The same God that brought me from Jersey then to Florida and has kept me to this point can get me from Florida to Hawaii and keep me just like he did here. So I'm trusting God. I'm believing God for the great. I'm believing God for miracles. I'm believing God for a greater tomorrow and beyond. I want to see God do things I've never seen him do. I'm looking forward to miracles, signs, and wonders. I'm looking forward to spreading Jesus all over Hawaii. I am excited. So anyway, whatever comes or whatever goes, I'm sharing this journey with you guys. Okay, so you may not see anything till the next step, until they call me or say something or send me another letter. I don't know when, but whatever, that's when you'll see me again talking about this. You guys be encouraged and know that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. He's a good God. Amen. To God be the glory.